MLB star teaches sons about guns in case Sanders and socialism wins. That's the only part of this headline you need to know, because I'm sure you can guess how the rest kind of devolves from there. Now, it is Thanksgiving. I am watching the parade. I have no clue if this video goes up on Thanksgiving or the day afterwards, because I do want to talk about the Nissan situation, which will probably be a longer video. But this is funny. This is hilarious, and it's actually still going down. So, Aubrey Huff, who's part of the San Francisco Giants, 2-time champion, and I believe, because I'm not the biggest sports aficionado, that he was actually one of the people playing in the championship that I went and celebrated when we were partying in SF. Because when the SF Giants were winning, it was a lot of fun in the Bay Area. But anyways, here's the situation. I'll go right down to his tweet. The story is up on Daily Wire, but he made this comment about Bernie Sanders on the off chance he wins and beats Donald Trump, how he needs to show his kids proper gun safety. Here's the tweet. Getting my boys trained up on how to use a gun in the unlikely event at Bernie Sanders beats at real Donald Trump in 2020. In which case, knowing how to effectively use a gun under socialism will be a must. By the way, most of the headshots were theirs, and then he tagged in the NRA, which was a big major no-no. You don't do that. You don't do that if you don't want people to. If you don't want people to go at you like crazy on Twitter, don't tag the NRA. Oh man. But yes, I think it's clearly a joke, because if you go through the guy's Twitter history, he's pretty damn confident that Trump wins the re-election, so it's a joke, right? But that did not stop people from taking it as an actual threat. And Kathy Griffin and Tom Arnold both jumped in, and let's go ahead and see what they said. But the comments towards him have been they've been getting progressively worse. If you look at the stuff that was said yesterday, which would be the 27th, it's a lot of just commenting on his politics and calling him an idiot and making references to contacting CPS, that stuff, right? Today, they're just full-on calling him a white nationalist, a racist, telling him he doesn't deserve to breathe. It's gotten worse. But his responses have remained the exact same. Child Protective Services should be notified. This is the world we live in today. Teaching your children how to safely handle and shoot a gun at a legal gun range is now grounds for having your children taken away from you. And then, of course, sarcastic face. Now, I'm not actually super big on guns. I don't collect them or anything, but I do strongly believe in the Second Amendment. It's crazy. My girlfriend believes in it way stronger than I do. Now, in the sense that guns are good, and I'm more of like, yeah, you should have them, because there's basic reasons why they're in the Constitution. If you don't understand it, blah, 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 it's a different discussion for a different day. Anyways, you can kind of see, like, the moment they have a chance, they try to bring up, like, CPS. It reminds me of what happened with Tug and the shitty comments, because he's a dad, to say that you're going to contact CPS and make bogus allegations and report things like, oh, this guy takes his kid to a gun range, that's not safe, and we want you to take away their kids. Like, come on. Anyways, Kathy Griffin responded, this dumb fuck right here, in response to his tweet. Now, Aubrey continues. My boys and I were shooting a fake paper target as I was teaching them safe gun practices. Yet here's a picture of you holding a fake head of at-real Donald Trump murdered by your own hand with a knife. How'd that work out for your career? The hypocrisy is strong with this one. #moron. And that's the case, right? First off, he did make a joke, and you can say it's inappropriate. I don't really care. It is a joke. It's clearly a joke. He's at a gun range. He's legit teaching his kids how to properly handle a weapon. And Kathy Griffin finds that completely intolerable, thinks the guy's just a jackass, blah, blah, blah. But then she legit took a photo of herself with a very serious face holding the bloody severed head of the president, which is apparently acceptable. That's not divisive at all. She used to be a comedian. Tom Arnold, the Forever White Knight. Kathy Griffin just handed Aubrey Huff his ass. I'm gonna tell you right now, Tom Arnold gets shut down by regular people on Twitter consistently. So when Aubrey Huff does, it's even funnier. I'll just read the response now. She's not gonna bang you, Tom. If I were you, I'd focus on hanging on to that fourth wife before you lose the rest of your money on alimony payments. Let's chat over coffee about failed marriages. Alimony for my one divorce sucks. I can't imagine being dumb enough to do it 4 times. This is basically what it's devolved into. It's just constant sniping back and forth on Twitter. This was the final tweet in the article, and I'm going to switch over to his actual Twitter account so you can kind of see it's still happening. Like, there was a tweet legit about 20 minutes ago over this. For all you that reported me to the FBI and Twitter, I'm happy to report I flew today and got to my destination with 0 security problems. Also, I had hundreds of emails from @Twitter that say I violated 0 of Twitter's posting rules. Thanks for your concern. Happy Thanksgiving. And then he does the happy thumbs up face. Oh, that's great. So yeah, this is his Twitter profile, and as you can see, proud father, 2 times champs with the SF Giants, love God and country, here to try and show the people how to not take life so seriously. And then he puts Trump 2020. So I'm just guessing that it was a joke, right? It seems like it would be a joke, but like I said, so here's the most recent one. I was teaching my kids how to shoot guns responsibly. I did make a political opinion, but at no time did I threaten anyone's life. You and your colleagues at ESPN and at Disney create more political and racial divide every day. See how you played the race and politics card here to fit your narrative. And he's kind of right, because nobody made any comments towards race at all throughout this entire thing. This just came up today. Well, they're calling him racist, of course, because why not? To be silent about a former MLB player posting a threat of political violence is to normalize it. No, because he didn't. It is not normal. It's not. It is unacceptable. You're absolutely right. It didn't happen. Politics and sports intersected here, so we are good. Blah, blah, blah. And now I imagine a non-white player posting what he posted and what would come. Be alert. Nobody interjected race at all at any point into it. Until this jackass did. This has just been going on for since yesterday. And it's funny. If you want to check out the things that this dude is sniping at people, like this one, you don't deserve the oxygen you've stolen from all the good, decent humans on this planet. Since you're a vegan, you'll be happy to know this. When animals die to be our food, they will no longer be stealing our precious oxygen for all the decent humans on this planet. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving. You don't know what you're missing with the succulent white meat. So here's my point, right? Throughout the entire thing, Aubrey Huff has been taking it super lighthearted. He's making jokes. He's basically giving people back what they're giving him. And the responses are getting worse and worse towards him. But you can see, even responses like this, you're literally plugging my book with the same comment on every tweet I make. Thanks a million, capitalism, baby. # baseball junkie. There you go. The dude is just, he's having a laugh at this. And you can see that people are getting more and more angry and offended by what he's saying. This is my favorite, and I'm going to stop. You guys should just check this stuff out for yourself. You are a fucking piece of shit. Fucking racist, white nationalist, neo-Nazi. That is so gonna get me in trouble on YouTube. I know that my content's not for kids anymore, at all, period. But that's still gonna get me in trouble on YouTube. How's my content for adults, but I can't say any of the things that were just said there? You are definitely not American. Everything you say and do is totally un-American. And Aubrey's response is legit just to say Hail Hydra. My point is, you definitely have 2 sides going on here. One is Aubrey, who is having fun and making jokes. That's clearly a joke. I'm not even going to click on that tweet because I can already imagine people will take that as him admitting to being whatever it is they're saying about him, when clearly he just doesn't give a shit. But I guess what I want to say is, like, lighten up, enjoy your Thanksgiving, enjoy spending time with your family, and stop trying to get so outraged and offended by literally everything people do. Now, I'll finally say this. In regards to needing to know how to use a gun, given the rise of socialism, yes, 100% you should understand proper gun safety regardless, period. Everybody should know how a gun works, how to use one properly, and how to be safe around one. I think most people should understand that, given that we do have the Second Amendment here, if they choose to. If they want to use a weapon, I kind of think that should be pretty basic. And even if you don't want to use one, it's very good advice to understand these things, because they do exist, and even in a world that they want where they ban all guns, they will still exist. You should understand how to be safe around them. But also, Venezuela. At the end of the day, I would be much happier to know how to use a handgun in the face of overwhelming oppression by the government, right? Which is what happened in Venezuela, versus having sticks and stones and trying to fend for myself. Okay, I made a bunch of final points here. It seems crazy to me when the Second Amendment exists because of fear of government tyranny. Period. People make the arguments for hunting, self-defense. They are legitimate, they exist. But the purpose of the Second Amendment is to prevent government tyranny. It's to ensure that if the government ever tried to force its will over the people, that they could resist that. And this has been called a conspiracy theory. They've called people who believe this insane. That the idea of the government turning wild against its own people, in spite of the fact that we've seen this happen throughout history multiple times. But the craziest part of it is, the same people who make that argument that would never happen are also the same people who say that Trump is basically Hitler. Well, if you basically have Hitler running your country, that would be oppression. In which case, why would you want to give that man the ability to take away all your guns? It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense at all. But I get the emotional arguments behind it. I understand that when you get inundated with school shootings, like back and forth, reading through these comment sections on these tweets and everything, you see people just constantly making the exact same claims, the exact same comparisons, that because there are guns, that's just going to lead to school shootings. Or that one of the comments I believe I saw was how just because you're in the army people commit suicide with guns. That doesn't mean proper training helps. Well, I guess my only point there was, you're not really arguing about gun safety. What you're really talking about is a mental health crisis, which is generally related to a lot of these incidents. Take all the guns away, or arrest Aubrey Huff, take his kids away from him. You're still going to have random acts of violence. It's not going to stop. You need to address why people are engaging in that type of sort of behavior. And once you do, you can actually address the problem. Or we can just ban guns, and then we'll be like the UK, where we have to start banning knives, because without guns, they'll still find a way to hurt people. Anyways, guys, that's the video. I thought this was funny, a little bit of a serious message as far as like the Second Amendment goes, but this is hilarious. And this is kind of how you should respond to people when they're going crazy at you on Twitter. You shouldn't take it seriously. You shouldn't let it get under your skin. You shouldn't start ranting back and forth. Just let it all roll off your shoulder and have a little bit of fun with it at the same time. Anyways, guys, that's the video. Hope you're all enjoying your Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.